Hello again, 5th grade. Today I'm going to review the Fluency practice quiz for you on page 218 in your textbook. I'm going to do some examples of problems that are very similar to the problems on your Fluency practice quiz. Right, number 1, it just wants you to find the reciprocal of 4/5. So choose the reciprocal. Number 2 is asking you what you do when you divide with fractions. Remember that you always multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor to find the quotient when you are dividing with fractions. All right, number 3, it asks you to order these from least to greatest. So you have a fraction divided by a whole number divided by a fraction, a unit fraction divided by a whole number, and then a whole number divided by a unit fraction. So I'm not going to do these problems, but I'm going to do some that are very similar to show you what you need to do. All right, so I'm going to write out 3/4 divided by 4, 4 divided by 3/4, 1/4 divided by 4, and 4 divided by 1/3, because those are all very similar to what you have in the book for number 3. So first I have to solve this. So I'm going to solve 3/4 divided by 4 by doing 3/4 times 1/4. Because I multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. So that's going to equal 3/16. All right, my next one, I'm going to change 4 to a fraction, 4/1, multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor, times 4/3 equals 16/3, which equals 5 1/3. All right, the next one, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Reciprocal of 4 is 1/4. That equals 1/16. And then on the last one, I'm going to change the 4 to a fraction, 4/1, times the reciprocal of my divisor, 3/1 equals 12/1, which equals 12. Now, I have to look at my quotients. I have 3/16, 5 1/3, 1/16, and 12. And I'm supposed to order these from least to greatest. Well, 1/16 is the least, so that will be number 1. And then next would be 3/16. Okay, and then 5 1/3, and then 12. So that is the order that I would choose. 1/4 divided by 4, and then 3/4 divided by 4, and then 4 divided by 3/4, and then 4 divided by 1/3. All right, for number 5, okay, I'm going to do a problem similar to that. Okay, I'm going to tell you that there's a path. The path is 2/3 of a mile. Okay, and you want to walk for 5 miles. Okay, how many times would you have to walk around the path to go 5 miles? So we're going to take 5 miles divided by 2/3. How many 2/3 laps are there in 5 miles? So this is what I'll do. Just figure it out. 5 divided by 2/3. So 5/1 times the reciprocal of the divisor. And then I'll multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 2 is 2. And I get 7 1/2. So I would have to walk around that path 7 1/2 times in order to walk for 5 miles. All right, number 5 is very similar to that in your book. All right, for number 6, there are 4 answers. You have to solve all of them to figure out which 4 are equivalent to 12. Okay, so 4 answers. All right, number 7 is just finding the quotient of a unit fraction divided by a whole number. So I could take 1/8 divided by 6 as an example of the kind of problem you have in number 7. Okay, so I do 1/8 times the reciprocal of my divisor would equal 1/48. And then number 8 is just asking you how you would, if you have a fraction divided by a whole number, like 8/9 divided by 5, what expression would I write in order to solve that? So it would be 8/9 times the reciprocal of my divisor, 1/5. Okay, so go ahead and do the Fluency practice quiz. Make sure you think about the different ways that I solve these problems.